What's up, VC? It's Trent from Trent's Records again. Thought I'd come back with a video in the new year. Happy New Year to everybody, and hope your holidays were good with whatever you celebrate. Hope you got to see some family, maybe you got some cool records or cool gear. I picked up a few things. I just got back from Ohio, which is where I'm originally from, but I live out in Washington outside Seattle here now. So I picked up a few things while I was home. Traded some records while I was there, but I also got some stuff at an antique mall around there. But before we talk about that, I actually do have some music on today, and it is this Ohio Bootleg by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Obviously had to get it. I mean, look at that. It's a whole map of Ohio. It's from the Big Sur Folk Festival in 1969. It is a soundboard recording. And I'm not big on bootlegs, not really my favorite thing. Soundboard recordings sound a little weird to me, but I had to pick that up because, look at it. Whole map of the state I'm from. But this next one is actually my first spin of the year. I brought this back from Ohio. I had a little collection there that had been there for some time. And it's True Lahoma by the Black Keys. It's actually the pink pressing too. If you don't know this record, but you're familiar with the Black Keys, this is a cover record of songs by Junior Kimbrough. Junior Kimbrough, if you're not familiar with him, was a Mississippi electric bluesman in like the 70s, 80s, 90s. Part of this really unique group of bluesmen down there that played this really idiosyncratic, like hypnotic sounding electric blues. It's super rad. Highly recommend checking out Junior and check out True Lahoma. It's full of just, I don't even know how to describe it. Like I said, it's hypnotic. It's just draws you in. A lot more bluesy than blues rock. Really, really cool record. This one was actually from my friend from a long time ago, and I finally got to bring this back. And Daft Punk Alive '97. Love Daft Punk. I love everything they've done for the most part. Here, I'll show you the back too. Just regular black wax. Haven't done too many pressings of that specific record though. I think that's second or third in the US, and that's all they've done is 2 or 3. So that was a really cool gift back when I first got it. Now here's some I picked up at that antique mall I was talking about. I found this sealed copy of Moanin' by Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. You can see it's still in that shrink, but it's the 70s pressing on the blue B from Blue Note. And I actually already had a copy. I had this copy. This is a white B, which is from later 70s. And I actually prefer this one over the black B. I think it sounds better, a little bit more full, less flat. So I'll end up selling or trading that sealed one I had, but I had to open it. I'm of the belief that you open sealed records, and I just wanted to know what pressing it was. Knew it wasn't original. It had a Liberty on the front. Sticking with the jazz though, this one I'm very excited for because it's kind of tough to find these days, and that is Electric Funk by Jimmy McGriff. On this, like 1970, 71 Blue Note label. Really funky, really good organ playing and a fat bass on here. This one is a little beat up, but you can see Jimmy on the back there. And I love this inner photo. I think it's super, super cool. Probably his best record in my opinion though. If you like the funky organ, jazz, you gotta check out Electric Funk, and check out Jimmy McGriff too. A lot of his Groove Merchant stuff, like Groove Grease is awesome. And he started out as like a more traditional organ player and just got funkier and funkier, kind of like how a lot of the organ guys did. But that's a really great record. And sticking with the organ theme for this, I found this one the same place. Back at the Chicken Shack. Incredible Jimmy Smith. This is that micro groove Plastilite pressing. Really nice jacket too. The record's a little scratched up, but still plays great. Classic lineup on here though. You got Tarantine, you got Burrell, and you got Bailey with Jimmy Smith. You know, just that classic little bopping jazz of that early 60s Blue Note and Jimmy Smith specifically. But I actually found this one, Midnight Special, recently too. A little bit before I found the other one, but this one is also, you know, micro groove, Plastilite pressing. I prefer this one over Back at the Chicken Shack. A little bit more groovy, a little bit more grooving and swinging, and I prefer that same lineup though. But I love Jimmy Smith. I think he's great. I love a lot of the stuff he's done. And even his later stuff, some of his Verve stuff, I'm not huge on, but I do love his Blue Note output. I'm still looking for a copy of The Sermon. I've seen a couple, weren't in the best condition. Switching gears here, this is another one that I found back in Ohio, and I'm very stoked on it because I just traded my other copy of this recently. But this one's really nice, and that is at Fillmore East, you know, Allman Brothers. Really, really clean. I mean, I'll even take it out. Just super, super clean. Still shiny. And it's got this corner issue, and I'm okay with that. Whatever. It's on that pink Capricorn label. It's actually a Record Club copy, though. And it looks like it's been played maybe like once, twice. I'll take that all day. And I actually found another Record Club copy of another classic record, and that is In the Court of the Crimson King. Just really clean. Same place I found the Allman Brothers. I mean, super clean. Let me show you inside. Look at that. Like I said though, a Record Club copy, but I did some research on it, and apparently it's one of the better sounding pressings of this record, and I've listened to a little bit of it. Sounds great to me. Sounds way better than my old copy. I'll show that one to you. Let me grab it. This is my old copy. Just beats fine. It's got this water damage right in here. I mean, inside is nice and everything, but what's cool about it is there's a red label Canadian pressing. So I thought that was pretty cool when I found it. It's quite scratched though. So I'm happy to upgrade that one. Gotta have a clean one of that. The last thing I found in Ohio is actually a 45. I do collect some 45s. Got them all right here. This little Peaches box. Actually, I'm thinking about doing a video on the 45s in there soon, so look out for that one coming maybe. But this one is I Can't Stand the Rain by Ann Peebles. Love this song, love this record, but I cannot find the record. So a lot of the times I'll, you know, buy 45s of albums I can't find, or if there's an album I only like a song or two, I'll usually, if they got 45s from it, I'll buy those, if I like the songs, obviously. But super stoked to find that. I mean, very soulful, a little bit of funk in there. It's got that High Records horn section on it, same as all the Al Green records and everything. Sounds just like it. So if you like that stuff, definitely check that out. Actually, I'm forgetting one here that was a gift, and I finally got to listen to this. It's kind of an abomination. It took me so long, but that's okay. I finally got it, finally got to listen to it, and that is A Love Supreme, live in Seattle. Before this came out, I did a little bit of reading on it. Well, when it came out, I did some reading on it when it first came out, and heard that it's very drum and bass heavy, which is true, very true. Horns are definitely back in the mix, but I still really like it. You know, it's a really cool interpretation of a classic record that we all love. And if you love Coltrane, which most of us love Coltrane. It's definitely something you gotta have. I mean, he's got Pharaoh on there, and I know Pharaoh's become quite popular in recent times. But moving on to some stuff I've just been jamming to, because I'm always jamming to something. This band, I am not the biggest fan. I wasn't before. I'm starting to really get into their stuff a lot more, and I know that might irritate some of you or something, but I picked this up. It's the White Album, which is probably my favorite Beatles album. Just a later pressing of it. I've had a couple first pressings of it in the past, but they were always pretty beat. And so this one's really, really clean, really nice. It's got all of the goodies in there and everything too, even for a later pressing. I thought that was cool. But it still sounds really good. I mean, you know, I watched the Get Back documentary and I loved it. Thought it was amazing. Loved seeing how they create songs and how they went about their process. I love that kind of stuff. So got that recently because I've really been digging the White Album a lot. And I actually don't have any other Beatles albums. I have in the past. I've had Abbey Road, Let It Be, Revolver, you know, classic stuff, but definitely looking to get more Beatles again. I feel like I kind of have to. Also been digging Revolver a lot lately, especially Taxman. That's a great song. But moving on, this one is almost always on my table. I spin this one a lot. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, and that is Working Man's Dead. This is a later pressing of it, but really, really clean. I mean, that jacket is just super, super nice. There's like nothing wrong with it. I love this album. I love the Dead. Not a Deadhead per se, but I do, you know, I get really into their studio stuff a lot and their live stuff. I mean, Europe 72 that I showed before is awesome. On here, I mean, Dire Wolf is amazing. New Speedway Boogie is fantastic. Black Peter, I love. And Easy Wind is a song that grew on me a lot off this record. Easy Wind, you know, you got Pigpen singing it, and I love the groove of that song a lot. Very bluesy, but man, is it killer. I love hearing that one. And New Speedway Boogie, I love the groove of that song too. This next one though, is one that took me a long, long time to find because I was kind of picky with it. And I didn't see many of them in my area. You know, I don't see this one too much, but it is Hot Rats by Frank Zappa. I really wanted it on this Bizarre label. And I've seen ones on the Tan Reprise labels, but I finally found the Bizarre a couple months ago. Super clean, actually. I mean, it's got like a little bit of sticker residue here, but whatever. And super happy to have it. Love this. Son of Mr. Green Jeans is amazing on here. I mean, you've got Willie the Pimp with Captain Beefheart singing. You've got Peaches and Regalia with a young Shuggy on it. All of it's amazing. I absolutely love Hot Rats. And I do love Frank too. I think he's an amazing guitar player. I don't know who would agree with me on that, but I think amazing wah player. Supposedly he taught Jimi Hendrix to play wah. I'm not sure how true that is. It'd be really cool if it is. But speaking of Hendrix, we've got Are You Experienced? This also gets a lot of play in my room. Original Tricolored label. Classic album. I can't really say much more on it, but the cool thing about this one is that I didn't find these until much later when I actually looked inside the jacket. But inside, let's see what it had. It has some flyers in it. What is this one? Milford Kemp artwork full color. So it looks like some artwork on sale. There's a rare posters one that is really cool. And there's a t-shirt and tapes and everything one in there. And there's one more. And I don't know if anybody can tell me anything about this, but it's from a group called the Jimi Hendrix Electric Church Foundation in San Francisco. This one's like you order some photos with it, but right here is where that is. So I found those. I did some research on it and I couldn't find much on that Electric Church Foundation. But how rad is that? I mean, some flyers from back in the day, you know, ordering photos and artwork of Jimmy and stuff. And I think it's just super cool, you know, it makes me feel closer to that whole San Francisco scene that was going on in that late 60s time. But yeah, if anybody has any info on any of that, please let me know. I think it's super cool and I'd love to know the history behind it. Moving on though, another classic. I've been super into the classics again. LA Woman, The Doors, slowly has grown to become my favorite Doors album. This is an original with that cellophane on it. But, I mean, what more is there to say about LA Woman? You've got Been Down So Long, one of the best intros. Cars Hiss By My Window is a great song. LA Woman, of course. Hyacinth House, Crawling King Snake, you know, the John Lee Hooker song, which they do a phenomenal cover of, in my opinion. You know, it's very different, obviously. It's that Doors sound. It's very psychedelic, but also bluesy. And they do it great. Another one that, this one actually popped up randomly, and I jumped on it because I know what it is. I love this record, and they're not easy to find, and that is Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. Original RCA, Black Label. Absolutely love this record. You know, I've got The Passenger, Lust for Life, but my favorite song is Fall in Love with Me, last track on side 2. If you've never heard that song or never made it that far in the record, highly recommend it. But, you know, this comes out of the Berlin period for him and Bowie, and it's amazing. Great record. If you ever get a chance to get an original, I mean, they're not super duper rare, but if you get a chance, grab one. Moving on to some jazz, actually. I'm always spinning some jazz too, as I like to. This one I found out in a video, and I can't remember where. I wish I could. And I saw it one day. It's really clean, and I had to pick it up. This is Darkness, Darkness by Philip Church. Upchurch. Wow. Philip Upchurch. Really great record. Super underrated, not expensive. Funky, bluesy, jammy. Just amazing. 2 records in here, and I will sit there and listen to all of it any day of the week. It's a great mix of styles, and it really showcases Phil's ability to play guitar. Highly recommend this. Next couple, classics again. In a Silent Way, Miles Davis. This is like a second pressing, I think. I'm not quite sure. But let's just take a moment to appreciate how clean this cover is. It's probably the cleanest one I've ever seen. Might be the cleanest I ever see, but just, I mean, there's a little bit of ring wear, but not much. And I love this record too. It's actually probably my favorite Miles record. You know, it kind of goes back and forth. Sometimes I say On the Corner, sometimes I say In a Silent Way. Sometimes I go back to his Prestige work. But as of right now, In a Silent Way is my favorite Miles album. And again, another classic here, Blue Train. This is a Liberty pressing. I actually got this at a record show. Same with a couple others I showed in the last video. But this one was just really clean, and this might be the most I've ever paid for a record. I won't say how much, but had to have it. I mean, classic Train. This record is amazing, and not much more I can say for it. It's an amazing lineup too. You've got Lee Morgan, classic, Curtis Fuller on trombone, Coltrane, Kenny Drew on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Philly Joe on the sticks. That's an insane lineup. That's insane. And last one is actually a new record. I got this maybe a month and a half ago. It wasn't out of print, but it wasn't restocked for a while, and it probably took a while to get pressed again. And that is the Delvin Lamar organ trio, I Told You So, on Coal Mine Records. Really funky. If you, by now, you don't know either Coal Mine Records or you don't know Delvin Lamar, really great modern funky organ trio. Just great stuff. Love the stuff that they do. I need to get, you know, their other 3 records now. They just came out with another one. But anything on Coal Mine, definitely pick up. It's, as everyone else says, it's an amazing, amazing record label that puts out quality stuff all the time. And then this last thing is not actually a record, it's a book, but I got this as a Christmas present. And I got this, well, I put it on my Christmas list after watching a Mazzy video on Jim Marshall. And I got this book, Not Fade Away, which is all about Jim Marshall's rock and roll photography. So you've got this classic, you know, Jimmy photo on the cover, but you've got, you know, Michael Bloomfield right there. Sorry, I blanked for a second. Michael Bloomfield on both sides, actually. Let's see. Beatles playing live before they went into the studio. This is a really great shot. I absolutely love this shot. I love photography too. I do it a little bit here and there. I haven't in a while. But you got Aretha and Otis right there. This book is just full of amazing photography. And I've enjoyed reading the little snippets on everything and going through it and just finding, I had like this Dr. John shot. How amazing is that photo? He's all hoodooed out and everything, and I love that shot. Let's see. Two of my favorites, Jerry and Neil. Amazing. What a great book. Anyways, if you're interested, check out Not Fade Away. It's photography of Jim Marshall. And thank you, Mazzy, for turning me on to this, basically. You know, I've seen all these photos before, never knew it was Jim Marshall. So I'm very, very happy to look through this. I love this kind of stuff. But that's it. That's kind of everything I picked up over the holidays. Again, I hope you guys had a great holiday. And maybe I'll be back with that 45 video. See you guys later.